Excellent.
Hello, hello.
Good
Good morning.
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 How we
How are
doing?
you? How are you today?
Well, it's been a busy morning. That's for
Oh,
damn
I
sure.
know. I know. I'm late. It's my fault, everyone. I'm 3 minutes late today. We've
It,
had,
it's it's nobody's fault. Business happens every day, all day. And we're here. We're here to kick off. I know it's Tuesday, but it is Monday because yesterday in Canada it was a holiday. Next Monday in the US is Memorial Day. So we're kicking off the week. Whether you're in the States where you're on your Tuesday, the intention is the same. The intention is to get everybody focused on what matters in their business today. Fire off some great tips alongside my good friend Sabina, where we try to make a difference. We try to make a difference in our business. We try to make a difference in yours. So as always, pipe in where you're getting in from. Pipe in with how your last week went, if you were able to use some of those nuggets from last week as we get into the topics this week.
awesome. Thank you. That's wonderful. I wanted to mention because we have folks joining us always that have been here before and others that are new every week. So I wanted to mention to anybody that was new, one of the things that we'll do in an upcoming session soon is we're going to review the planner that we provided to everybody at the beginning. This is the tool that we recommend you use to manage your activity tracking, start figuring out your metrics, start figuring out your conversion percentages so that you are fully on top of your business and you know exactly by the end of this how many calls you need to make, how much time you need to spend, how it's going for you. When the market shifts, you can start seeing it more quickly. You can really sort of make adjustments faster. So because we haven't gone through that now, and I don't know, it's 6 weeks or something. So I want to make sure that we do that on an upcoming one. So we'll probably do that maybe next week or the week after, but we also send to you all every single week. The planner is linked into the follow-up email that you always get on Tuesday mornings. It's always in that email. So you can go and download it. You'll figure it out yourself. You'll see there's some instructions on how to use it anyway, but please make sure you're using a tool, if not that tool, to track what you're doing every single week. Because there's nothing more important than consistent activity. And that's why we're here to help you do that, but also bring
Inconsistent
your questions.
tracking.
Yes,
What's measured and tracked is what actually happens.
right.
And that's not unique to real estate, it's unique in life. Like this is 100% factual. The moment that you think of something, it's one thing. The minute you think of it and write it down, it's one thing. The minute you think of it, write it down, and then read it out loud is a whole other thing.
Yeah.
So remember, these things aren't fluff just to say something. It's how
Mhm.
you literally change the trajectory of your business and your life for that matter, depends on how you use it. So let's get into it.
Awesome. Awesome. I will tell everybody, and thank you, by the way, for mentioning the holidays. As everybody knows, we are one of the few coaching groups that has people from not just North America, but we have people joining us from other parts of the world. And so we mentioned we're taking holidays right now anyway across North America. So next week we will be Tuesday, same time as we are today. So just keep that in mind. When you get your reminders, especially the Zoom reminders, they will automatically shift. So you'll see that this week's reminder will be for Tuesday, but please, make sure it's in your calendar the right way. So you don't show up on Monday or feel like you're going to miss something, but you always have the replays. The replays are in the resource
Yeah,
section. So you can find
and I
that.
think that's super exciting to have that unique perspective of not just North America, but global for that matter.
Yeah.
I think it's very important
Mhm.
for us to have a well-rounded business, and
Yeah.
it's also very important to know what our brothers and sisters in other markets are doing. Like
Yeah.
what do people in Australia act like? Because they have organized real estate the same.
For
What do
sure.
people over there? So I love that component. I think that's why I'm such a huge fan of all this.
Mhm.
We just get that unique perspective.
We certainly do. And, as you guys all know, things also are different from province to province and state to state anyway. But what we're talking about is your business practices. These are best practices that relate to any business, anywhere, anytime. So everything we're talking about is very border friendly anyway. So I'm excited about the fact that a tactic that we're going to talk about here is most likely going to work everywhere, but we still want to know what you guys think locally so that we get as much local knowledge as we go through this as possible. Everybody can learn from everyone else.
Agreed.
Okay, so today we're going to roll into another of our topics in what we're calling sort of this is sort of quasi-warm outreach, I suppose, because some of these will still be cold, but we want to talk today about how you can turn local business partnerships into referrals and additional income. So that's our topic for today. Simeon does this masterfully, so I'm very excited for him to be helping us through this. Remember, basically what this does is it creates 3 pipelines for you. One is, obviously, this is a referral metric for you to get referrals from business partners. That's number 1. Number 2 is referral income. This is a diversification of your income streams. Now you're talking about another additional income stream for your business, so hopefully 2 or more. And then the last thing, of course, is you will also be providing, hopefully, referrals and business to them as well. So everybody wins. So this is a 3 pipeline conversation. It's also one of the simplest ways that you can build your business without buying leads. So, I mean, how awesome is that? So maybe we should start today with some of your ideas, perhaps, Simeon, on this topic, just sort of generally would be awesome. And then we can talk about this practically, like what are some tactics about making this happen in your world?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. And when you said I do this masterfully, this is the one area of networking that I focused in on. I don't do anything masterfully, only because I want to use the right words. I do everything intentionally. Have I gotten pretty good at it? Yes, I have. Do I like to see others explore, exploit, and leverage human connection and mutual benefit into big business? Yes. So in the document that we prepared last week to kind of speak to this, we put in some very crucial notes. And that's, of course, and once again, using the old trusty Ford method, for example, once again, to connect. And who are we connecting with? Right now, from where I stand, I am in a suburb of Toronto called Mississauga, for those who aren't from the north. It's a city of about 1.3 million, just outside of Toronto, like it touches Toronto. And I can tell you that within a 1 kilometer radius, there's probably 100 businesses. If we go 2 kilometer radius, I'm talking about 200 businesses. And how is that possible? Well, it's a very dense suburb with power centers galore. When people look at this conventionally, they see big box brands. They see, well, how can I possibly connect with somebody at the Under Armour store? Well, I can answer that question to you very easily, and that's by simply connecting with somebody at the Under Armour store. Is that going to drive real estate business? Maybe, maybe not. But what it does do is create a network of people, at the very least. You stating to the manager of the Under Armour store that you're a real estate professional and you would love to find a way to work with them, let them give you an idea. Let them look at you awkwardly and say, I don't know, what do you mean? Nothing. I just wanted to meet you. I'm here. At the very least, I just met Jennifer, the manager of Under Armour. But is there anything I can ever do where I can create reciprocity, where I can send clients? So for example, my son is starting his baseball season today. The coach said, if you go to Town and Team, or whatever the store's name is, Team in Town, up on Argentia Road, they have 20% off as a result of being with Mississauga North Baseball Association. When I walk into that store, I'm going to introduce myself as Simeon Papa-Elias. My son plays for the Mississauga North Blue Jays, the Toronto Blue Jays little teams. And I'm here to pick up a cup because he can't play without a cup because he's now, I didn't know this, he's 11, now it's changing rules. But I have a reason to walk in. Why wouldn't I use the opportunity to add that person to my cell phone? The difference between civilians that are teachers, that are that work for the city, that do these things, they don't need a network. They can go about their lives not making connections. We're on 24/7 because that's how we make our livelihood. This work isn't for everyone to always be on. You don't have to be. But if you choose to excel at networking, if you choose and intentionally want to build connection, I can drop the next 10 restaurants and say, hey, I have an open house on Sunday. I would love to have a couple platters catered by you. Would you be willing to do that if I put your cards up? What are you asking for? A $35, $40 platter that the food cost to them is probably 50% or 40%. So 20 bucks. I would be happy to support you moving forward. But for this open house, probably about 40 people are going to walk through. Do you want to give a special for people to try your restaurant? Happy to do so. One might say no, second might say no, third might say yes. I would love the opportunity to expose my restaurant to people at an open house. You just saved 50 bucks. The restaurant is potentially going to be seen by 10 new clients, and your open house was now, instead of having coffee and donuts, it was catered with kebabs or whatever, sweets from, a specialty store. This is what we're talking about. This is the context and the picture we want to paint today. And I would love to hear from anybody who's on here live if they've done something like this before.
Awesome. We'll if you guys want to drop something into the chat, please do so, and we'll keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something in the meantime while we're waiting for that? Simeon, do you use, well, I shouldn't say it this way, you probably do, but I'm assuming you also use your Ford method to inquire either through email or phone or whatever you're doing for them to want to perhaps, work with you, but also find a nice personal and gentle way to ask people.
That's correct, but it's always, you're always starting a new relationship.
Right.
The Ford method allows you to start a relationship and allows you to continue nurturing with it based on real human feedback.
Right.
Whether it's family, occupation, recreation, or dreams, there's always something this human will be doing.
Right.
So something their kids will be doing, something that you can connect and resonate with.
I
So
think
like
you also have
an Indian family just opened a brand new Indian sweet store. I had never had these sweets in my life. Half of them looked straight up different. I come from Greek culture. Our desserts look different to people that are from Germany.
Right.
But at the end of the day, every culture has its thing. And once you take that intention to connect, you're going to find more common ground than you think. You're going to build a personal connection. And why wouldn't that Indian family that just moved to the neighborhood that felt good by connecting with a neighbor use your services or want to promote you? Because you're doing the same for them.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and if you have still some challenges, I think finding a way to connect with somebody, there are some really simple things that can be done too. And, things that are seasonal, hey, I noticed you had a spring rush at your shop or whatever. Like there's so many things that you can do that don't necessarily have to be someone you already have a relationship with. To Simeon's point, just show some interest, start developing a relationship, and you'd be surprised at how quickly these things come together.
I personally find that just super important.
Yeah.
And this is like people think this, that, or the other. This is the most serious way to build a business.
For sure. I mean, it could be
Because
something.
you can host events at the places. You can do so many different things.
Yeah.
In the success by building something organic and real inside a community is very real. Like that stuff is very real.
It really is. And, and we're talking about this from a referral perspective, but you've mentioned already another reason to do this. Like, they're saving money, let's say at an open house, or, you're generating social content. So it could be something like you're sharing their post, or you're doing a story about a local business or whatever it may be. I mean, that could even be your opening where you're like, look, I want to do a story about you, tell people about you. Can I come and interview for 5 minutes,
Develop this further. If you're looking to become a local expert, somebody who gets called upon. If somebody, like, let's say, for example, my area is called East Credit. If I want to develop myself in East Credit, what do I need to do to showcase my area expertise? I should
Actually
know
have
every
area of
street.
expertise.
You should know every street. You should know every
Yeah.
business. You should be following the news. You know, crime rates have increased in East Credit the last 6 months. That's not good. Why? What has taken place? Well, maybe a new development was taken down the road where other people had to, like, what is happening in your neighborhood? You
Right.
know, a new school is proposed, a new business center is coming, a new storage, big, huge storage unit opened up. That's great news.
Yeah.
That's big business in your neighborhood. That's new jobs. That's new opportunities. How are you showcasing that expertise? And you
Yeah.
do so now when you go to the storage place and you make that video. How long did you spend with the general manager of that business? 30 minutes, an hour? When in the world would you ever have an hour with the head of an organization in your neighborhood? In no case. But you gave value first. Mr. Manager of this storage facility, people hire you when they're about to declutter. It is crucial to my business. Do you mind if I were to put this, 8.5 by 11 one pager right here? That if anybody is thinking of making a move into real estate, I will pay their first month in storage. Is it okay if I put that special and use your business on the back of my next flyer going out? I'm not looking for anything for free. I want to showcase my value. If somebody's decluttering and they're only going to use storage for a month or two, you don't think they want that to be paid for free by their realtor? You don't think that creates an instant value add? This is what I'm referring to. Restaurants, movie tickets, all these different things that you can do.
Yeah.
In building those connections, it doesn't have to be the owner, the manager of the Cineplex in your neighborhood is just fine. This is what we're referring to.
Yeah. 100%, 100%. And as that develops, obviously, you'll see how much more can come out of it. This could literally drive your entire referral strategy, this one thing. But to Simeon's point, nobody is going to see you as not being also the community expert, which is always what we teach as one of the most important elements of building your business. Community leadership is absolutely crucial as it relates to everything in your business. So this is just another wonderful way to do that, but with even like more direct outcomes. Let's face it, this gives you, 3, 4, 5 different reasons for wanting to do this.
Yes.
One of the things that, we wanted to talk about a little bit today too, is just, I wanted to put it out there. Keep in mind that there are many ways in which you can develop a referral-based business like this, but you always need to check locally on whatever the rules are, the regulations are. So I get to put my little legal hat on here and say, please do me a favor, make sure you understand what your rules are. Every state and province is different. RESPA rules in the US, for instance, will tell you what you're allowed to do and not allowed to do, who you can share referral fees with. Just be sure you're comfortable with that. One of the things that we're going to give you today is a tool that has a list of referral recommendations or options, I'll call it, just ideas. And it's part of our 60+ side hustle for real estate agents guide. A side hustle is also referral revenue. It's just another symbiotic way for generating new income. And there's a whole list of them in there, but there's also a section on RESPA. If you're in Canada, it's actually a little bit easier than in the States to develop referral relationships. So just make sure you check with your broker is basically what I'm telling you. And
yeah, for compliance and disclosures, that's
yes,
all it is.
exactly.
And just so everybody knows, everybody thinks you always have to offer referrals and big cash and all these things. You'd be surprised as to how many people are not interested in your money at all. You'd be interested to know how many do care about your money and do see it as a straight transaction. And that's okay. But it's always nice to ask, do you prefer that I just send my clients to you? Do you like paying referrals? Or vice versa? What do you prefer? For example, with mortgage brokers that I work with, I do not want a kickback from their commissions. They do not get a kickback from mine. I build loyal, strong relationships based on excellence in service.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with taking referrals. There's nothing wrong with it if that's what you're looking for.
Mhm.
I want them to be winning so much because one of my transactions is 20,000. One of
Mhm.
theirs is 6,000, although they do 4 or 5 times more transactions. I'm interested in just getting that client.
Right.
It depends on you how you want to build your referral business, but the
Mhm.
whole point is, do people see you as the natural choice for people that they like and trust? That's what you want to become. That's it. And you want to develop that by always being out and about,
Mhm.
giving value to your community in every turn that you can.
One of the questions that I've got is, someone's asking, what's a fair referral fee for services like moving and staging, like the bigger referrals? Do you
It's
feel
always
like there's such a
it's always
thing,
going to
or is it
depend.
again? Sorry?
It's always going to depend. Like, for example,
Right,
what I said about the storage company.
right.
That's a real thing. And
Mhm.
what's real about that thing, just so we understand each other, is the
Mhm.
fact that I'm offering for them to be able to close easier.
Mhm.
Like, I'm creating a special, like a real estate moving special, meaning that this guy right here will pay your first and last at the storage facility should you use my services.
Right.
That's something for him to say. If somebody walks in, oh, how much is it? Well, this guy here will actually pay your fees if you use them.
Right.
That's to somebody who just cares about money. If somebody walks in and says, what do you know about Simeon Papalias? I know he's the best real estate guy in the area. I know he treats his guys with this, whatever the case, depending on your relationship with them. But how
Mhm.
much do you pay them? You ask them. What is a fair referral for me to give you if you send me somebody over? And the manager will tell you. People aren't as shy as you think.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's a good way to look at it. Besides, you might work out something completely different, to your point. Every situation can be highly creative, and to your point, you don't necessarily need to
And
do
highly
it
different.
with fees even, right? So
Yeah.
do you track, one of the other questions I'm getting is, how do you track, or do you track referral fees or referrals you're getting from other people? Is this a CRM tag? How do you do
I'm a
that?
CRM guy all the way through.
Okay.
Like, I do nothing without our CRM. Like, and I'm not joking or making
Mhm.
it like everything is in the CRM. If you
Yeah.
want to build a business without having to look through a million different places,
Mhm.
like, keeping it simple is not doing a Google sheet, because that Google sheet's going to be out like out of date in a month. CRM, it's a new contact, it's a new person that you need to check in with, just like a client.
Right.
Sabina, my dear manager at Under Armour, how have you been? Do you see what I'm saying?
100%,
How
100%.
have you been? What have you been up to? How are things going at Hiveologie?
Mhm.
How are things going with your business?
Yep.
This is a relationship that is the same or more important than a single client. Because you look at 10, 15 people a day that go through your store and have the
Mhm.
power to direct them as an air traffic control person.
Yeah, very much so. No, I think that's the key to this. And, I'd be interested to know how many people already have a strong strategy in place for this area. So for anybody that's on the call, let us know what you've been doing, or how often, or how it's working for you, and all that good stuff. One of the questions I got is, should I charge vendors or to be included in my vendor list or guide? So that sounds like almost an ad strategy.
Again, I wouldn't.
Right.
I wouldn't, and there's a reason I wouldn't. I
Yeah.
want them to be my number one fans. I don't want them to have a single reason in their head, like, okay, so you charge them, but they didn't see a business. Oh, I don't want to work with you. I didn't see anybody come through your stuff.
Yeah.
Like, how are you tracking it? It just becomes messy. You
Yeah.
can, of course, you can. If this is like, the like, but you're seeing it less and less because of digital media. Remember when
Mhm.
we used to get all those local home services magazines, the flyers that used to come to our inboxes, to
We
our
still
mailbox,
get them. Yeah.
to my mailbox, excuse
Right.
me.
Right.
With the fence guys, the plumbers, the
Yep.
electricians, the realtors. That's different. Where if you're going to participate and you're going to ask people to participate, because that's a piece. But if you're doing a single mail out, what you may want to do is you may want to ask them, instead of paying you money, would you like to add a coupon to my next flyer? I'm farming East Credit in Mississauga. There's about 2,000 homes.
Mhm.
I'm thinking that if you can give, you know, a Friday night special, give them free breadsticks with the order of 2 pizzas. Give a Caesar salad with the order of 2 lasagnas. I don't know. Like, ask for something that would give value to people that they'll use, and that creates a situation where your flyer stays on top of their counter for a week. You're just building brand. You're building you're building those reps of becoming that person in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
That's
and I
how you
think
use those.
that's also a really good idea because, you know, we always try to think of ways in which everything we do can live longer in their world, can be sticky. And that I think actually leads to the question that Anna just posted about how do I share my vendor list on social media without it coming off like an ad? This is another way to do it, is to blend these ideas together where you're interviewing somebody. It doesn't
Who
sound
was
like
it
an
that asked that question?
Anna.
Anna, let me tell you exactly what Sabina was speaking earlier about making a video. Making a video and tagging that vendor pays such massive dividends. Massive. This is the new business card. It's just not the same. To make a one-pager to drop off at your next door knocking campaign, by all means. These are great ideas of getting that out there. But just remember, just shooting a simple video and tagging that owner where it's going to live on their page too for the next eon. It's big, guys. And we have to think that way.
Do you think they should add in the coupon or any information about like, hey, contact me and I'll get you a coupon or something along those
If they
lines? 'Cause
can, if they can,
why not, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Not even a question.
Yeah. Here's a good question. How are you vetting people before you add them to your like preferred list? Because it can't be just they're willing to pay you a referral. You want to make sure that you're happy with that. So do you go through a process of some kind there?
If we're talking about restaurants, etc., those are too simple. No, I don't.
Right.
Either I've eaten there already or I'm gonna eat there or
Exactly.
whatever.
But what if, let's say it's a
As far
lawyer
as,
or a mortgage broker or something?
yeah, I do not refer anyone without
Yeah.
knowing where they stand integrity wise. That's not even a question to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not even a question to me.
Sure.
That's I'm serious as a judge when it comes to referrals, because this is what that's my reputation we're playing with. So it's
Do
not
you?
even.
Mm-hmm. So are you basically going through do you go through just, you know, you'll use them once or twice and then consider it and go that route, or do you do some sort of a vetting process?
I have conversations. I ask them what they stand for. I ask
Mm-hmm.
them, you know, if I were to call your last client, what would they say about you?
Right.
Why, tell me why you feel you're a great choice for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not even joking. Like, you don't have to, that's not a game to be played. When you're giving referrals to service professionals that are there to protect the deal, like a lawyer, like an insurance, like um, deeds and all the things that different
Yeah.
parts of the
Title.
transaction involve,
Mm-hmm.
that's no joke to me. That's way too significant, and it comes with a tremendous fallback weight to you. If you open your mouth and give a referral, you better know who you're giving it to.
Yeah.
Because that's above and beyond, again, the restaurants and this and that, the other, that's nothing.
Well,
When it
in
comes
my
to,
opinion, oh, sorry, Simeon.
no.
I think what's interesting about that too is to remember that, you know, you're not begging people to be, you know, working with you. You are coming at them then with this requirement for quality that I think also sheds a wonderful light on you. So they'll feel more comfortable working with you too, that you're not just looking for
Yeah,
a
and I
random
mean,
list of referral partners, you know?
yeah, think it through. I walk into a few local offices.
Mm-hmm.
My name is Simeon Papalias. I'm looking for a few new lawyers to refer my clients to. I want to understand the scope of your services and how you operate. I would love to be able to send my clients that are suitable to you.
Right.
I want to figure out what's your perfect client. So I know how, when I see one, I'll send them your way.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Stephen has an interesting question. He's saying, I'm happy to refer clients, but I'm not seeing many referrals coming back my way. What's the best way to improve that?
Yeah. That's classic real estate, guys. Everybody wants us to give, but everybody forgets. Steven, I'll tell you, buddy, it's more than likely, well, it's not more than likely. You always have to take the blame because you're the owner of your company. It's on you, your fault. You need to follow up more and more and more and more. Hit them up, hit them up. How are we doing? How can I help you get me more clients? How can I help you get more clients? It's just a constant top of mind thing. Tag them in videos, give them a call. There is no way to answer that. It's not easy for somebody to refer, and people are scared to refer on top of it all. You know, because they're scared about their reputation too. So give them reason, Stephen. There is no way other than follow up. Anything else would be just noise. Like you just got to follow up, follow up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, you know, to your point, just like we talked about in the other warm outreach models, you need to be touching them on a regular basis anyway. So if that happens to be, you know, if the conversation is about how can I do more for you and vice versa, that's a great reason to be talking to them, right?
And that truly is the entire strategy. It is just ask them, you know, like, what can I do to create more deals? Let's create more deals. Let's do more business.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I think, you know, we're basically at about our time limit here. So I'll say if anybody has any other questions, please throw it in the webinar chat. Simeon, is there anything else that you want to mention? I'll do a bit of a wrap up, but if there's anything else you'd like to throw out there that we've missed.
No, my dear friend, I think everybody just needs to always think, why did we take an entire Tuesday's time to speak about this? What makes it so important? Think that through. Everybody lives somewhere. All of us live somewhere. All of us are surrounded by businesses and people. Rethink, I should say, the relationship with your local environment and look at how much opportunity is right beside you. Think of how they can support your open house. Think of how you can support their business. Think. But more importantly, do. And when I say do, today it's 11:35 Eastern Standard Time right now. That means half the population of North America is about to go to lunch. Where are you going to lunch? What will you do at lunch? Will you extend your hand over the counter when you're getting your wrap and say, hi, I am Joe, I am Jen, and I would love to develop our relationship with you. I don't care if it works. Do it. Put the reps in, see how it goes for you. That's all, guys.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. I think that's a wonderful place to stop. Reminder, everybody, in your resources, you're not only going to get that guide I mentioned, but we put a checklist together as well, which will help you work through the steps you need to develop your vendor list in a very efficient way. It'll be in your email in the morning and everything is there. Just follow that if you're still not clear on what to do. That'll give you the steps and take it from there. And keep practicing your Ford scripts. This is an awesome, awesome way to do that. There's tons and tons of ideas that relate to the Ford method that you can use here too.
Yes, it is. Yes,
awesome.
It is.
Good. Well, thank you, Simeon. Thank you so much as usual for all of your wonderful input. We really appreciate it.
I believe I'm going to see you guys all next Tuesday after your Memorial Day. To everybody south of the border, have an amazing long weekend next weekend. For everybody north of the border, let's get back to work and focus. We had very beautiful weather up here, sunshine. It was a little bit cool, but it was gorgeous. Everybody have a productive week ahead.
Wonderful. Ciao, ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody. Have a great one.